Hello. Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? And what are you getting into? This is a Lioness Brown. For those of you who don't know me, I work with women, help them. I'm the author of the E3 class. It's called Empower, Enhance, and Execute for Results Empowerment, to help women empower, enhance, and execute on the ideas they have in life and in business. Absolutely. I'm all about the results, the effective force, which is what virtue means. So, can you handle the truth? Most people can't handle the truth. That's what I'm probably going to be talking about truth for a long time, because it's been really getting on me that if I'm tardy, I'm not truthful. If I have a habit of not sticking to my goals, then I'm not truthful. If I am my actions are not worthy of emulation, then I'm not truthful. If I'm doing what I'm not talking about, then I'm not truthful. If I bait and switch in the way that I do my business, then I'm not truthful. If I don't disclose all the information about the underwriting that goes along with the products and services that I'm selling you, that I'm a liar, I'm not truthful. And we begin to think that worship is something we say. Oh, hallelujah. Ooh, they think it's something we say, but it's actually a lifestyle. It's the way we live. Hello, Angelica, how are you? It's the way that we live. Worship, we think worship is a song that we sing. We think it's a place that we go to, but it's an embodiment of a character. It's an embodiment of a principle that you live by. It's an embodiment of what governs your spirit. It's an embodiment of what is being carried out in your everyday, daily affairs. The way you do business, the way you handle your friendships, the way you handle people, and everything that we do. Because how you show up in one place is how you show up everywhere. And I've been thinking, do I tell people what I'm about when I'm doing the products and services, or am I just beating around the bush and going around the circles? And do I sell products that I actually believe in, that I can stand by, and I know that it's actually going to do what I'm telling you that it's going to do? And am I able to do what I say that I'm going to do? Do we have a sense of responsibility when we are living this life to be truthful? Are we just expressions of speech? Are we expressions of speech? Or are we the embodiment of a presence of something powerful? Because the embodiment of that power must be executed in all of your daily affairs. In the way that you clean up, in the way that you speak to people, in the way that you treat people who can't do anything for you, in the way that you act. I noticed that people act around certain way around certain people if they feel like those people can do certain things for them. And then others they'll treat with disdain because they feel like there's nothing to gain from being connected to that particular person. Is that truth? Is that how we impress the Most High? Is this something that we should be thinking about? I see people with so much trickery. I have people say stuff like, you get in relationships and then they strive so hard to get into the relationship. And then once they get into the relationship, they trying to figure out how to get out the relationship. People want a job. And then when they get the job, they do good on the first 2 or 3 days. And after that, they start coming late. They start dressing lax, and then they start talking a certain type of way. And then you say, oh, okay, this is who you really are. Because the person that interviewed is gone. But what about the people that really they have the same enthusiasm on day 10 as they did on day 1 or day 100 or day 500? After years, they still have the same enthusiasm they did as on the first day that they started. What about the person who actually was just excited about the one client when they first started doing their business, and they had the one client and they were so excited about that one client, but then they became excited about client number 2, client number 5, and now they're at client number 500 and they still just as excited as they were on client number 1. That's truth. That's truth. But when you start getting to a certain point and you start saying, well, I don't need these people now, so now I'm different. Okay, so then who was I when I was broke? Who was I when no one was working with me? Who was I? This is just truth. I have a friend that I don't really, and I hope she watched this video. She gonna know exactly that I'm talking about her. I have a friend that I don't really go places with the person anymore because they can't never be on time ever. After so many invites to something and you never can be on time, are you truthful? I'm just being real here. Does that make you a liar that you know off the top that you don't value anybody enough to actually do what you say you're going to do at the time that you say that you're going to do it, but you're worshiping God? Who you worshiping? Because your lifestyle is saying something totally different. It's amazing what we think we are and how we really show up. We say one thing with our mouth and then we show up in a completely different type of way. And then we wonder why people are confused. They don't know how to take us. They don't know which way to go. I've seen people preach about being honorary and be mean as heck to the person that they actually talking about being honorary. And they just as mean as a rattlesnake. But they preaching the gospel. Then I've seen pastors that show up, that's bold enough, don't care if you kill them. They bold enough to tell you what the real truth is, regardless of what the offering is going to be, regardless of what's going to be said behind them, even if it means their life. Because they're not for hire. They're living the truth. They can't be bought. These are just things that I've been coming across. When I started studying truth, I started saying, he said, who would dwell in my holy hill? He that swears to his own heart, hurt and change not. That means once I put my word out, even if it hurts me, I still honor what I've said because my commitment and my character and the way that I treat you means more than any sacrifice that I have to make. And that means that I will be more quick, not so quick to make decisions or not so quick to speak rashly if I'm not going to have the actions behind it to back up what I'm doing. So ladies, just, use your femininity, use your personality as your authenticity. Your authenticity as a commodity. And the thing that's your extremity, the thing that you think that can work against you, the thing that you think is so bad, maybe the mole on my face that people told me I should have got off a long time ago, or the one that's been here since I was a little bitty old kid, I grew up with them and then they grew with me. Or maybe it's something else that is a flaw that I think is a flaw that somebody else doesn't. That thing that's an extremity will usually God will use it to work for you. So with that being said, I'm just saying, be the truth of who you are. Business, relationships, your character, your practices, all of that got to be congruent. It needs to be one. You should not be saying one thing, thinking something, and doing something altogether different. That's just altogether confusing. And if your behavior cannot be duplicated, then what are you doing? What's the purpose? What's your purpose? So, ladies, I was speaking to the women. Come on to my no BS selling. It's not a bad word. The BS don't stand for no bad word, of course. But I have a obligation to work with women because I'm saying this. Listen, if you a receptionist, you need to know how to sell. If you in a call center, you need to know how to sell. If you in customer service, you know how to sell. Why? Because listen to this. The people that are most productive, the people that can actually do income generating activities, the people that actually know how to retain people and that can dissuade them from leaving a particular company, that person is worth something. That person is bringing value and adding something to the company. Are you generating any type of productivity? Are you just an order taker? You just clocking in and clocking out? Or are you doing a business on a perfunctory level, just like you just function and you just like going through the motions of actually how to present your product or your service to somebody, but you're not really using all the assets that you have to actually bring your message to the people that you're called to? Check it out. It's a no-cost class. It's called Selling is a Virtue. It's a group. You want to actually go inbox me and actually request to be added to that group. And it's on October 22nd, 2019 at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Women, let's be the truth of who we are. Truth is power. Virtue is an effective force. Virtue is getting results, living in a life that is worth emulating. And that's some power. That's real, true power. Peace and blessings. Have a good one.